Greetings, kids everywhere, and welcome to Crazy Dave's Kids Show. This is Crazy Dave. With me, as always, is my dedicated co-host, Goofy Gilbert. Goofy Gil, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great today, Crazy Dave, because today is one of our favorite shows.
It is. Why I'm saying that is because Dr. Pete from Blind Children's Hospital is with us today. Dr. Pete, how are you doing today?
Oh, just great.
You're not going to do...
Good to see you guys.
Oh, good to see you. We're not going to do like an on-air physical or anything like that.
No.
I heard sometimes that can go pretty crazy.
That's right. We don't have to have any disclaimers about
Okay, good. So this is a great show. We have several of these every single year where you come in and kids ask questions to you about maybe something that has happened to them in the hospital, or maybe something that maybe they've been sick once in a while and wondering why does this happen? You're kind of like the fountain of knowledge, Dr. Pete.
Well, sometimes it comes out as a trickle, sometimes a full blast.
Well, I have to agree. No, it's always a full blast. It always is. What inspired you to be a doctor, Dr. Pete?
Well, actually, I was, as a kid, I was sick. I had asthma. I still have a little bit of asthma right now, so I used to have to be in the hospital a lot, and my mom used to take me over. We lived in New Jersey, and she'd take me over to New York City to see this world-famous allergist, and I don't know, I always was fascinated. When you're in medical school, you start to take care of all different kind of patients, and I figured out pretty quickly that I really like taking care of kids the best.
Because you can think on their level.
Well, that's part of it. And, I always say about kids is even if they could be really, really sick, once you start to get them better and they start to feel better, they kind of usually always bounce back to their old self. And you can't say that with adults all the time.
But, Dr. Pete, you can't even probably believe that we actually have callers from all over the world that listen to the show.
Well, at first I found it hard to believe, but I actually have talked to them once or twice. So
that's right. We actually just set those up. They're actually just next door, down in the journalism lab, and it's some of the acting students. Okay. No, I'm serious. We do have calls from around the world, and I think we've got one from out of state, Goofy Gilbert.
That's right. We have our good friend Noah.
Noah, how are you doing today?
Good.
Hey, Noah, can you say hi to Dr. Pete?
Hi, Dr. Pete.
Hi, Noah. How are you?
Good.
Good. Now, how old are you, Noah?
7.
That's what I kind of thought. You sound like you're 7. And where are you calling from?
Monmouth, Illinois.
Illinois, exactly.
Illinois, wow.
Can you, all the way from Illinois, Dr. Pete. Super fan here. Noah is a super fan. And I bet you might have a question or two for Dr. Pete today, Noah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, shoot. Well, not really.
Not in the studio, Dr. Pete. I do think the glass is all bulletproof in here for our safety. So what's your question, Noah?
How many people do you have to work with a day, Dr. Pete?
Oh, that's a good question. We work with a bunch of people in our office. We have nurses and medical assistants and people that check patients in and that. And I usually see about, 25 to 30 kids a day.
That's a lot, Dr. Pete.
That is. That's what I tell the bosses, but they don't seem to care.
Now, I bet it probably then is a great reminder to grown-ups out there, even though it's tough to be a grown-up. We know, Goofy Gilbert, right? Woo! It's probably a big reminder, get to your appointments on time, okay? I know you don't want to say that, but I'll say it for you, because you probably get way behind if people get late.
Yeah, well, we can at times, but I'd be lying if I said I was never late. So, we usually kind of work it both ways. And we understand, if they have 2 or 3 kids that they're bringing along, that can take time, and it usually takes longer than you think.
Now, I'm kind of curious here, Dr. Pete. When families come in, to have checkups and stuff, do any of them bring pets or creatures with them?
Good question. Good question.
I think we have a no pet policy, at least as far as live ones. If they're stuffed, they can come along.
Okay, now remember, kids, he said no pet policy. He said nothing about a no creature policy, okay? So I guess, hey, perfect.
It's true. I've never seen like Jabba the... Well, I don't know. Is Jabba the Hutt even a creature?
I call him a creature.
I'd say that.
You treat him. You treat his son, wouldn't you?
Jabba Jr.?
Jabba Jr. That's right. He ate a bounty hunter, probably. You'd have to dislodge a bounty hunter from him. Yeah, Jabba. Boy. But and you do treat anybody that comes to the hospital, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, kid-wise, we don't treat adults. In our part of the hospital, we don't treat adults. The other parts treat adults.
Now, have you ever had somebody dress up as a kid and you're like, listen, you got a mustache. You are not a kid. And it's not like they get a discount.
I know you want a free sucker.
That's right.
But you got to go to the adult hospital.
Is it 18? Is that when they're done? Or when?
Well, usually about 18.
Oh, okay.
Did that answer your question, Noah? I don't know if Noah's still on there.
Oh, he's a very good listener. Are you there, Noah?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, Noah?
Do some have to stay the night?
Oh, if they have to go to the hospital, they do. That's a good. So sometimes that's a very good. Boy, Noah, you're asking better questions than.
Watch
Crazy.
it. Watch it.
Than the other two guys.
Beep. We don't have a beep button. Goofy, come on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beep. Okay.
And you disconnected the button to the chair, so I don't get the shock anymore. Kids might come in because they're sick, and we figure out that they need to stay in the hospital. So then we take them from our office over to the hospital. And there's a group of doctors nowadays who are what are called hospitalists, and they just take care of patients in the hospital. Their job is to just take care of the patients that are sick in the hospital. We do what's called outpatient, where we take care of them there. But when I first started, we used to do everything. We did the emergency room coverage, the clinic coverage, and the hospital coverage. So,
now, Noah, have you ever had to go to the hospital?
Yes. Just not too long ago, I had a sleeping test.
Ooh, sleeping test.
okay.
Yes.
Now, does that mean they put you to sleep?
No, I had to fall asleep before he didn't close on my head.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So did they help you? Did they help you with? Because we see a lot of kids sometimes that have problems falling asleep or staying asleep. Is that why they looked at you for?
No, because I was sleepwalking.
Oh, sleepwalking. Wow.
Seriously, Noah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that really does happen.
Yes. I sleepwalk.
Yeah, and then they try to find out why and see if there's different things they can have to to help you, right, Noah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And did that wind up helping you?
Yeah, they said that it was this really bad sleeping thing, and I didn't have it, so I'm good. So, yeah.
Good.
I knew you were,
Good,
Noah.
good.
I knew you were. You're one of our biggest fans. I could tell.
Crazy Dave, I think this show should be a little longer. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. It should be a little longer. Yep. Well, now, Noah, we know that you're a big fan of the show. Can you think of any last questions you have for Dr. Pete before he goes?
No, but I forgot a question that you forgot to ask me.
Oh, what's that?
Did you do anything amazing today?
Oh.
Anything amazing happened to you?
Did anything amazing happen to you this week? See, I'm telling you, Dr. Pete, he's sharp.
He is. This guy knows your lines better than you do.
He does.
No,
seriously.
maybe I need to talk to you about a co-host job.
That's right. It's the Dr. Pete and Noah show. You're going to have to keep up, though, Dr. Pete, if you have Noah on your show.
That's right.
See, as you just pointed out. Well, Noah, did anything amazing happen to you this week?
Well, today there is.
What's that?
My friend Kel is coming up, and I think he might even be. I think I heard him on your show once.
Oh, I think I remember that, too. Well, you have fun with your friend. Tell him that you were talking to Iowa's premier doctor, okay, Dr. Pete. And it's too bad every state doesn't have a Dr. Pete, Goofy Gill.
A premier doctor?
Right. You know what I'm thinking? If we could take some of that spit out of that microphone he's got.
Clone me.
Clone
yeah.
him.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
And got to become honest with you, Dr. Pete. We've been trying to clone you, but we don't have the formula exactly right, and we just have these huge 8-foot-tall hulking Dr. Pete's, and we can't get them to fit in any of your wardrobes. Okay. So we're working on it still. And welcome back to Crazy Dave's Kid Show. This is Crazy Dave, beaming out of Des Moines, Iowa, heard around the world. And with me, as always, is Goofy Gill. Goofy Gill.
Yes, I'm here too, Crazy
It's not
Dave.
just the two of us today.
No. We've opened up the studio to our good friend Dr. Pete.
Yeah, we even cleaned it, Dr. Pete from Blank Children's Hospital. We would have done as great a job as you guys do at the hospital when you clean.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look under the table, okay? Just keep eyes above the equator, okay?
Well, if you'd ever been in my personal office, you'd say we don't have to do any cleaning because that guy is. I still have a whatchamacallit, poinsettia there from 15 years ago that's still alive.
Goofy Gilbert, we got Elizabeth on the
Yep,
line.
I think she's on the line.
Elizabeth, are you there?
Yes,
How are you doing today, Elizabeth?
good.
Did anything exciting happen to you this week or amazing?
Well, I'm doing a research on Maine Coon.
Mancoon? What?
It's a cat that is super large.
Whoa.
I've never heard of this.
Watch out for the deadly Mancoon. Dr.
And
Pete
it's
versus...
domestic.
It's a domesticated. So is Dr. Pete.
Now, is that a Maine Coon cat or is that a different thing than a Maine Coon?
Is the Mancoon a creature that's been exposed to radiation?
No,
Like Godzilla? No?
No.
It's just a hairy beast that's in cat form.
no, it's just a cuddly cat, like short hairs.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep.
And they're originally for Maine, but they went to the whole world.
That's exactly the Maine Coon. That's what you're talking about. See, Dr.
That's-
Pete.
I'm a catologist. A
He
felinologist. Is that what the word would... What is a cat lover?
a cat lover?
I think it would be it could be a botanist or a zoologist.
Zoologist. There we go.
yeah.
Probably that. Excellent. Boy, Elizabeth, you're pretty smart.
Yeah.
Can you say hi to Dr. Pete? He's with us today. Say hi, Dr. Pete.
Hello,
Hello, hi Elizabeth. How old are you?
10.
Wow, that's what you sound like. You sound like an awfully smart 10-year-old.
How does he always know that?
I
Goofy
don't
Gill?
know, Crazy Dave.
How old am I?
He's got special powers.
How he just I know.
Well, I know you two are over 21.
Well, barely. But we like to think about what our minds are like. That's about Tad.
Yeah, well,
Like
that I would
Elizabeth.
say under 21. then.
Right, exactly. So, do you have any questions for Dr. Pete, Elizabeth?
Yep.
What's your question?
How does the digestive system work?
Ooh,
Well,
boy, that
wow.
is an excellent question.
Way to give it to him there, Elizabeth. Let's see how he explains this.
Well, I'll kind of give you, pardon the pun, the answer from top to bottom.
Top to bottom. Okay. Let me think about top. Whoa, okay.
because we don't realize it, but our digestive system kind of starts at your mouth and ends
At your diaper.
at the diaper area. That's good. That's a good.
Thank you.
So first of all, you take in food and drink, and you would start the digestive process with your teeth, with chewing things and getting them down to smaller size. Then there's what's called your esophagus, which is your swallowing tube. That's where the food goes down. And sometimes, especially with babies, we see kids that babies that have trouble where food can go down and then can come back up. That's what's called reflux. And sometimes those kids, if they have problems, need to have special type of thickened feedings or medications to help with that. Then the food goes into your stomach, and there it's dissolved more with stomach acid, and it kind of churns. We don't realize it, but our stomach and intestine are constantly churning. My stomach churns when I think about coming on the show sometimes.
There's acid in my stomach?
Yeah, that's right.
No way.
A special kind of acid, but the lining of your stomach is made so that it resists that the acid would burn and get out.
Whoa.
So that's and then from your stomach it goes out through a valve in your stomach called your pylorus, and babies sometimes have problems with that part of their the valve in their stomach where it's too thick, and that makes them throw up, and they at least in this country they have surgery to fix that. Then it goes into your small intestine where a lot of the food gets absorbed, and then into your large intestine, which is kind of like the garbage disposal, and that forms, for want of a better word, your poop, and then that comes out, and then some of the liquid waste goes to your kidneys, and then that comes out as urine so our body's very efficient. It takes things in, takes the good parts out, and then tries to get rid of the waste. And that's one of the reasons, too, why we encourage kids to eat fiber, like in fruits and vegetables.
Now, when you get sick, people bring them to the hospital sometimes when they have the stomach flu?
Yeah, because sometimes they can get dehydrated where you can't keep liquids down and you throw up so much, or you lose a lot with that diarrhea stuff, that they have to come in and maybe get an IV to rest the stomach and get some fluids.
Now, have you ever had somebody throw up in your room, in your operating room?
Yes.
Have you ever had somebody throw up on you?
Oh, yes. In fact, just a week or two ago we did. So.
Threw up on you?
Yeah.
All over you?
Well, I'm usually, even though at my age I'm a little slower, I can kind of tell when it's coming, so I just get out of the way.
Did the pivot
but that's and that's sometimes kids will do that in the office and they feel bad or they feel kind of embarrassed, and we say, hey, don't worry about it. That's
not the first time.
Right, not the first time, won't be the last. If that's the worst thing that happens to me today, it's a lucky day. So we just kind of pick it up, clean up the room, and go on. But that's just a natural thing that happens, and it's not that they did something wrong. It just you just can't help it.
Now, I'd like to point out, all the years you've been coming here, Dr. Pete, we've never thrown up on you.
That's very true. And he's never thrown up in the studio.
I know.
But
a couple of times after the show, I've done.
We always set a bucket out for him just in case. Just in case. Good, Goofy Gilbert. That really makes me feel good now.
Yeah,
it's really true.
He always complains about coming here, but we treat him pretty well.
Oh,
we never throw up on him.
That's right. And after the third or fourth time, you got rid of the handcuffs, so you knew knew I'd stay further.
It's just more of a light motion sickness.
That's right.
Now, Elizabeth,
so Elizabeth, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I was going to see if she had any more questions. Do you have any more questions, Elizabeth?
Well, I have a suggestion for all these kids.
Oh, yes.
That are listening. When you have the stomach flu, what I do, I take nibbles of crackers.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Now, do you know what you call a specialist that takes care of the stomach and the intestinal tract? Do you know what that specialist is called, Elizabeth?
No.
It's called the gastroenterologist.
Really?
Yes. We have a specialist for almost every part of the body, but sounds to me like you could be a future gastroenterologist. Do you think you want to go into medicine or that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'd keep that thought in mind, because you sound like you could be a good physician.
What if she could? Well, she could treat the Maine coon cats too.
Yes, that would be like a feline gastroenterologist.
Whoa,
or a veterinary
that's a super specialist.
Yeah. Well, like up in Ames, at Iowa State at the veterinary school, they have all different specialists for animals. We've actually had to bring some of our dogs up there, and two of our basset hounds had to have surgery, spine surgery up there.
Really?
Yep.
On a dog?
On a dog, too.
Now, can you... Okay, let's say we're in the woods, okay? Just the three of us camping. We got a lot...
That's going to happen.
Sounds fun.
All right? And we just so happen... We have a lot
bring the marshmallows.
We have a lot of pets with us, okay? And one of our pets comes down with something. Can you treat the pet as well as you could treat a kid?
Well, no, I don't... I mean... I don't... if they had an ear infection or something and I could look in there, I might... A lot of the antibiotics and things that we use on kids are they use in the animal world. With
really?
Different names, a little bit different names, but they're kind of the basic thing.
So has anybody ever dressed a cat up in a bonnet and a little dress and put it in a...
like a infant carrier.
Yes, and brought that in, and you're like, whoa, that's a hairy kid. Wait a second, that kid's got whiskers. Nobody's tried to bluff you out that way?
No,
okay.
no. They
Not yet.
Secret assignment next week.
That's right.
Undercover
Which one
cat.
of you is going to dress up as the mom? That's what I want to know.
And you, Dr. Pete, something's wrong with my cat. It eats mice. Yeah, it's got a tail. Crazy. Well, Elizabeth, thank you for calling in today. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, this is about cats. And cats can't eat dog food because it lacks a type of thing that cats need, and they'll go blind.
No.
I think it might be carotene.
Carotene. Okay.
Could be dogonium.
No. No, they don't want dogonium. They'll be barking instead of purring, and that's what...
They can fly then. It's from the planet Dogopolis. It's a radioactive crystal that you grind down, and if you want your cat to be superpowered...
Oh, you give them dogonium.
Yes. Elizabeth, what would you tell the kids? Why should they call in the show just like you?
Because it's very interesting.
Yes, very interesting. It is very interesting, especially today when we have Dr. Pete from Blank Children's Hospital answering your phone calls.
We'll be back with more Crazy Dave's Kid Show on KDPS 88.1 FM.
And welcome back, kids. Crazy Dave's Kid Show. This is Crazy Dave.
And this is Goofy Gill.
And we're having a blast today with our good friend Dr. Pete. Good friend, Dr. Pete.
That's what I consider myself.
What happens when Dr. Pete gets sick? I mean, do you try to prop yourself up by the mirror?
No, I go to the doctor myself.
Dr. Lou?
Dr. Lou, yep.
Wow. And you go every year?
Yep.
You know, Dr. Pete, we have a lot of kids that are scholars that call into the show, and we had a kid that called in not that long ago with Goofy Gill. Remember this? That was testing the amount of iron that was in cereal?
I remember that. He was grinding it up, and it was a big science experiment he did for a...
Science fair.
Science fair, yeah.
Yeah, and that would make sense because, baby cereal is iron fortified. So, because usually kids, if babies have, for the first couple of months, they still have what are called iron stores from their moms, but then those get used up. So it's important. That's why one of the first things that a baby will eat, besides either like breast milk or formula, is usually rice cereal or oatmeal or barley, and those are usually all iron fortified.
But Dr. Pete, there's something we haven't talked about, the flu.
About this time of the year, we'd be at the end of what's called the seasonal flu, and we've not seen much of that this year. And I think kids have really helped by, staying active, staying healthy, good hand washing. I tell you, it seems like everybody really got on the bandwagon with good hand washing and, coughing into your elbow or whatever to cut down on the spread. So we were really lucky.
Now, what, Dr. Pete, is this RHF or what is it?
RSV?
Yeah, what is that?
RSV stands for respiratory syncytial virus, and that comes around every year. Usually in our part of the world or part of the country, it's usually in the late fall and winter, where a lot of kids have had to be in the hospital, and some kids have even had to be on respirators to help them with their breathing and that. And it's a wintertime virus, and we see it every year. If kids get good rest, good nutrition, increase their activity slowly, and make sure they're being safe, those are things that can try to prevent injuries. But it's just human nature. Kids want to get outside, parents want to get outside, and I think the big thing is to just have them be safe no matter what they're doing out there.
Now, I know a lot of kids will be out playing, and they're going to fall down and get scrapes and things like that.
Right.
Walk me through a scrape, Dr. Pete. Now, if someone gets a scrape, do they automatically come to see you, or can they treat that at home?
No, most of them can be treated at home. Good soap and water to clean out the wound.
That hurts, though, Dr. Pete.
Well, it can hurt.
You got scraped up, man. Are you not listening? I got scraped.
It can hurt a little bit.
Soap and water? Seriously?
Soap and water can help to keep it covered with a bandage if it needs it. Maybe some antibiotic ointment like what's called Neosporin or bacitracin, triple antibiotic ointment can help. But most of those, they'll keep going on and they'll do fine. And in the beginning, a lot of times kids are upset and they're crying, but once they get calmed down, then they're usually back out before you know it.
So now, with all the scrapes and things like that, are scrapes the same as strains? No, they're not.
No. Strain is like if you pull a muscle or you hurt a muscle. There's strains and sprains, not like planes and trains.
And brains.
Yeah, and brains.
Mains.
But I think that'd be a good point. Use your brains, don't get your sprains. Oh. So in other words, be careful out there.
Be careful out there. And when you get a sprain, do you have to go to the doctor then?
No, again, not necessarily. If it swells up, a lot of times parents will be smart and they'll have them rest. Number one, there's a thing called RICE, rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Some good ideas: you could use a bag of frozen vegetables from your freezer as a great ice pack. Peas especially are good because they're kind of moldable. At our daughter's Claire's school, a lot of times they have a sponge with water that they put in a little baggie and put that in the refrigerator. That makes a great ice pack. Or just putting ice, ice cubes in a baggie. That's another good way to do it. But
I thought Dr. Pete was going to say at Claire's school, if you get an injury on the playground, they're like, all right, go down to the cafeteria and
Get
see
some bees.
Betty.
get a bag of peas.
That's right. Just lay down on the table. This is Crazy Day, beaming out of Des Moines, Iowa, heard around the world. Goofy Gilbert with me as always.
That's right. And on the phone line.
Whoa.
On the phone line. This
thank
is
goodness
pretty
there's
important.
phone calls.
We have our secret agent, Mike.
Dr. Pete, it's a pleasure talking to you.
So, Secret Agent Mike, we know you get around. You're a kid at heart. You know all the adventures there are to be having in the city of Des Moines. I bet you probably have a great medical question for Dr. Pete.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of kids do it. They think it's pretty cool, and I catch myself doing it. I just want to know how bad it is, when you pop your knuckles.
Oh.
Yeah, is it really bad for you? Does it cause something in the future, if I keep doing it too often?
Well, thank goodness I thought of a couple of things you could have asked. So this is the most family friendly. I've heard where it can hurt your joints later on in life, but I don't know that it really does. I think it just has to do with the way our joints, what we call articulate, and sometimes people will make those sounds and they'll pop and loosen them up. So I don't honestly, think that it's a terrible, terrible thing. A lot of times parents just say don't do that, because it's annoying. It's sort of like, swallowing.
I remember my parents telling me that.
That's right.
Goofy Gilbert, who do we have on the line?
We have Desiree.
Desiree, how are you doing today?
All right.
Desiree, can you say, first of all, say hi to the great man, Dr. Pete. Tell him hello.
Hi, Dr. Pete.
Hi, Desiree.
Do you have a question for him?
Yeah.
What's your question?
Yesterday I fell out of this tree.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Back like my knee, and so I fell out. And what if one side hurts and the other side don't? What does that mean?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, you mean one side of your back or your tummy?
Yeah. My back.
Of your back. Yeah, that could mean a bunch of things. That's probably one of those things where is it hurt more today than it did yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be something where you may need to get looked at, because you could have just bruised a muscle, but there's a lot of things in your back. There's your spine, and you have different muscles. You have your kidneys back there, which are very important. So you might not be a bad idea to get looked at to make sure that you didn't hurt anything badly. Sometimes in a case like that, we may or may not do X-rays. We may actually have you give us some urine to see if there's any blood in your urine and that. So that's that would probably be my advice. How high did you fall from the tree?
About 2-3 feet.
Yeah, and that could even just a small fall like that. You could get hurt. So that'd probably be what I would suggest.
And I would also find the squirrel that pushed you out of that tree, and I would either send him to detention or to his room. Because you never know. That squirrel thinks he can get away with that once, Dr. Pete.
That's.
I don't trust him.
Now, Desiree, how old are you?
14.
Okay, I was thinking you were probably like 13 or 14, because you sound like you know what you're talking about. I've had kids fall out of trees and break arms or that, and most times it's not real bad injuries, but that'd be what I would recommend.
Did you ever have to treat anybody for a squirrel bite?
You know, I may have. I mean, we see other kind of animal bites. You know, sometimes kids will find little mice and get bit, or raccoon bites.
Seriously?
Yeah, I see. Well, a lot of the most common bites we see, besides bites from other kids, are dog or cat bites, and they can really be a problem sometimes. Dog and cat bites.
Well,
And sometimes kids have, you know, like pet hamsters or gerbils or guinea pigs, and occasionally you see those
Barracuda.
type of. I don't have any patience
Cobra.
with bear.
Cobra. Yes, definitely. Desiree, thank you for calling in today. What would you tell other kids? Why should they call in the show just like you?
Because you can talk to Dr. Phil.
Dr. Who?
Dr. Phil, but no.
Oh, Dr. Phil.
This is a low budget show. They don't get Dr. Phil. They just get me.
Desiree must have thought that you were Dr. Phil the whole time.
Oh,
You're going to give us some tough love, Dr. Pete?
Invite us onto your TV show sometime, huh? You've
Ratings
been
will
holding
go
out
way.
on us.
Dr. Pete from Blank Children's Hospital. Always an honor to have you on our show. Very, very educational, which, you know, it kind of brings the rest of the shows all the year up a little bit. It kind of evens out. Next week, who knows what nonsense we'll be talking about, but remember this week, parents. Remember this week. Anything else you'd like to share, Dr. Pete?
Oh, just happy to be on the show. Great to talk to everybody, and just enjoy the spring and the summer, and be nice and safe and careful, and but have fun.
Thanks, Dr. Pete. I'm Crazy Dave.
And I'm Goofy Gil.
And this has been another fabulous episode of Crazy Dave's Kid Show on KDPS on Kids Radio Mania 88.1 FM.